Okay, Sitecore Symposium, Las Vegas, which was awesome. Something a little bit about me, for the ones who doesn't know me, who's got kids, you don't know me. I'm Robbert Hock. Okay, I'm a Sitecore MVP, one of the founders of this SUGNL, and really delighted that every time we'll get the chance to actually host this with Sitecore partners. Also co-organizing SUGCon. So since you asked a question, I've got a nice Sitecore gadget for you. So one of the biggest announcements was actually that Sitecore is now rebranding their platform to the Sitecore Experience Cloud, which includes the Sitecore Experience Manager, or the whole platform, but that also includes Sitecore Commerce. And yeah, their vision is actually that with one connected platform, we can show a holistic view of the entire view on the customer, integrated with machine learning. That is something that is coming as well to deliver personalized experience. So in the keynote, Mark Frost announced Sitecore Experience Cloud, but also the new version of that Sitecore Experience platform, which is Sitecore 9. And they focus actually on three key areas, with one of them is innovation. That means they added xConnect. I will talk about these topics a little bit later on. The headless stuff and commerce. Commerce isn't ready yet. It will come in Q1. Then one of the key areas is the time to market. They want to deliver new functionality faster, and they have some things for that. Experience Accelerator, but also SXA Storefront for Sitecore Commerce, which is an accelerator. Easier upgrades to Sitecore 9, and a lot of focus on Azure. And then the Sitecore 9 included a huge enhancement in terms of the platforms, but also in terms of now platform functionality like Sitecore Forms and a new marketing automation engine. So xConnect, I'm going to briefly show you the functionality of xConnect. Jeroen will do a technical deep dive on that later on. And xConnect is actually meant to integrate third-party data into the experience database of Sitecore. So it's previously Sitecore was actually communicating with XDB directly. Now they added this API layer, or it's actually basically a service to search and actually get data in of the experience database. It's based upon OData industry standards. So you can actually use tools like Power BI to actually get data out of it and generate all these fancy reports. We'll be hearing that maybe from Nate some more. So maybe later on. It has push and pull operations on, so it does everything on Sitecore context and interactions in the XDB. So the technology that it's actually using under the covers or under the sheets is actually using Solar now. So using Solar is playing a big role into the new xConnect functionality. It will automatically index any contact, facet, interaction without any additional configuration. And it was actually built with a cloud first option in mind, to actually say, okay, this has to be immediately be able to run on Azure. And Sitecore already has some out-of-the-box connectors for xConnect. Jeroen might adjust this as well. So if you want to read more about xConnect, Jason Wilkerson he's done a tremendous job immediately the day after that xConnect was announced. He had a couple of very good technical blog posts So make sure you, I will put the slides on the SUGNL website, so make sure you actually read those. And then a huge announcement was actually Sitecore Cortex, which is Sitecore's machine learning engine to deliver the real-time insights, and especially making in the end the goal is to actually being able to automate to automate the whole personalization instead of that all the content authors should do that manually. So it will do this based upon Microsoft machine learning. It's not out yet, so it will also come, I guess, in Q1. And Sitecore Cortex will also be used for example, like automatic content tagging. If you want to see a cool video, go on YouTube. It's a nice video about the possibilities of Cortex and how Sitecore actually wants to put it in the market. So then a huge announcement was already the new Sitecore Commerce platform. It can handle up to 24,000 requests per second, so transactions. So it's completely rewritten. So in 2013, Sitecore actually bought Commerce Server, and yeah, they started refactoring it and integrating it, but it was always a separate product. So now they completely did a rewrite, and now it's completely integrated into Sitecore from Q1 on. It actually is based upon some kind of a plugin approach. So, for example, if you are having a web shop that only does digital downloads. So, for example, I'm not really selling products. You can actually just plug in certain features. Or you can actually get rid of certain features which you don't need, because you don't need to have shipping providers or things like that. Marketing automation will be completely integrated into Sitecore Commerce, and there will be migration tools to actually import old product data into the new format of Sitecore Commerce. Not much to say about this. So there will be two accelerators actually. One is native Sitecore SXA storefront with 40 commerce-specific components out of the box, all built upon the Helix principles. So if you already know the Helix principles and already are building your current site with the Helix principles, you probably can easily extend Sitecore Commerce as well. And then we have a Dutch third party from Aviva, which is called Mercury Commerce, and they have like 120 components out of the box already, and they're actually working already on getting them up to date with the new version of Sitecore Commerce. That's a little bit on the keynote of. If you want to watch it, this is actually the new CEO, Mark Frost, from Sitecore. Michael Seibert has he's still in the advisory board, but this is the new CEO, and I definitely recommend watching it on YouTube, because it's I think it was a great keynote, and it really told a lot of on the stuff that I already mentioned, but it even mentioned more, which I will discuss now. Then the developer keynote. First of all, the new Forms engine. So we're getting rid of web forms for marketers. Sitecore Forms will be part of the native on. If you install Sitecore 9 now, you already have the Sitecore Forms module integrated into it. It's based upon, it's completely rewritten in Angular 4. and it has a completely new UI. Yeah, I don't know if people already work with SXA, then you're already familiar with the drag and drop interface. This actually continues on that path, so you can actually drag in yeah, form fields and really just make up your form. Everything with in mind to actually have a faster time to market for marketers, to actually be able to, for certain landing pages or campaigns, to actually create forms on the fly. One of the things that web forms for marketers didn't have was multi-step page forms. So now you can easily configure a page, add some fields to it, and then say, okay, on this button, go to the next page. And you can also create yeah, form templates, so that the next time you can immediately already have some kind of a base layout for your new form. On every field you can actually see the metrics and performance of that specific field. If there are validations occurring, that's the problem, because it's very limited at the moment. Sitecore will be working on that, and hopefully yeah, a complete validation on several regular expressions will be added into 9.1. And in the future they will also build some conditional fields and conditional multi-page forms. So if you, yeah, for example, if you're saying, okay, if this is selected in a certain drop-down list box, then you should skip those fields, etc. Then a huge announcement was the headless stuff. It's a complete new headless and JavaScript services, JSS. Who's been to SUGNL? Alex Shiba and Adam Weber already talked about it last April, and now it's finally released into the platform. Still officially in tech preview mode, but I've heard that people are already working with it. There are currently 3 flavors of headless implementations into Sitecore, which is JSS is one of them, but SXA also has some JSON renderings to get actually representation of your whole page, layout, renderings that are on a page into JSON format, so that yeah, actually front-enders with no Sitecore experience can actually just start working on websites in combination with Sitecore. And there is coming one more flavor in the future, which I can't talk about, but it will be more aligned with .NET developers. Sitecore Experience Accelerator 1.5 is already out. It has some JSON feed improvements. Component innovations. Wasn't really yeah, much. Maybe Gert knows a little bit on the new functionality in 1.5. But
the multi-site that they focus on.
Yeah. And then we have some core platform enhancements, which was one of the 3 key areas that I actually told. So Sitecore. It's now 49% faster, actually, compared to yeah, the Sitecore Experience Platform version 8.2. So they bundled stuff, made lesser requests, etc. And they had a lot of bugs fixed. If you insert a new page, normally it would insert directly under that specific page. Now you can actually have a tree, and you can actually select a location where you actually want to store your new item. So content authors will, yeah, it's a better experience for them to actually stay into the Sitecore Experience Editor. In the presentation I heard, I haven't checked it yet on Sitecore 9, that if content authors actually fill in something in a text field, that it's automatically updated and saved. That's something that I already said. So another platform enhancement, and Jeroen will also talk about it, is dynamic placeholders. So previously, everybody probably had their own code to actually, so that you were actually able to insert a row, add a column to it, add a column to it. In that column, add 2 more rows, and then add a column to that row again. So dynamically placeholders is one of the things to actually circumvent that. And one of the new core platform enhancements is also federated authentication. It actually enables, for the first time now, to actually log into Sitecore using third-party authentication providers such as Twitter. So now you can actually sign in with, for example, Twitter, Google, Facebook. It supports also Active Directory services. And you can actually say, if you have multiple sites, you can actually configure on the site level. You can actually say, okay, this site, if somebody accesses that through that specific host URL, then you can actually say, okay, for example, Twitter is one of the authentication providers. And for other sites, you can actually sign in with your Facebook credentials. Bas Leijten already has a post on that. As mentioned, I will share the slides, and go check it out. Device detection now, they actually Sitecore changed with the provider, which is now 51 degrees. Federated Experience Manager supports now content languages. I guess it was always, I haven't used it myself. They upgraded the .NET Framework version. And there is a new content search Solo API. I had it 6.6.1. Yesterday I was at the Sitecore Digital Destiny Tour. They had it on the slide 6.6.2. So make sure you read the documents to see what the correct version of Solar is. Then we have server role-based configuration and rule-based configuration. Jeroen, are you talking about that as well? Yeah? Okay, so then I'll leave it up to you, and Jeroen will definitely walk you through the Sitecore install framework, which is a completely new way of setting up Sitecore instances, which makes it really flexible in order to set up all different kind of configurations. And then there were some Sitecore updates. If you want to do Sitecore updates, the Express Migration Tool new version was released. And the update installation wizard that every developer probably knows. You can now actually see, okay, analyze this package, and you can actually see breaking changes in your configuration. Or maybe it even scans assemblies if I'm correctly informed. But the cool thing is actually for the future that we'll get a totally new update experience. Update Center will be released probably in 9.1, maybe a little bit later on. I'm not sure how far they are. Where you can actually, it's a really, I took some pictures, really bad slide. You can actually click on the link, and you can just install a hotfix. Yeah, then something on the new marketing automation. Also a new Sitecore engine, fully based on xConnect. It does a lot of stuff through xConnect into the Sitecore Experience database. And actually, marketing automation is is actually meant for doing your full marketing operations in an automated fashion. In order to actually do full omnichannel. Now, Renato will talk you through with everything on omnichannel. To do full omnichannel automation. It runs as a separate Windows service in a Sitecore install, and it has a new rules engine. So, and it comes with a lot of out-of-the-box conditions. Like the Forms editor, SXA, drag and drop interface. And in upcoming December, Email Experience Manager will be a new version will be released and will be integrated with this marketing automation. I'm not showing it in a version now, but we have all these automation building blocks like marketing action, listeners, decision points, delays. So you can completely create this whole marketing automation plan for a campaign. And if you want to customize this, you have to implement certain conditions and activity interfaces. This is I mainly put it on the slide to actually, so you can actually read it through later on. Speak 3 is something that you see. Speak is totally not similar to the old Speak 2 or Speak 1 that were previously how you actually were that you actually used to extend Sitecore. This is actually a new naming convention of using Angular or React or other front-end technologies to actually extend Sitecore. So if you want to add and I can actually go back now. If you want to add a marketing action yourself, you have to do it with two technologies. So one is Angular for the activity UI, and you just do .NET for the backend logic. Then Sitecore Azure. Sitecore Azure is Sitecore is betting huge on the cloud and investing a lot in the cloud technology. Previous MVP Jason Sincere was on stage, so that was kind of fun to see. There are a couple of new topologies for Sitecore Azure: XP, XM, XDB, and we have all these kind of different versions to be able to to actually get a faster time to market. Within 30 minutes, you can actually spin up a machine in on Azure. And the great benefit is, of course, to actually scale up for peak traffic. You can actually use the Azure portal to deploy your Sitecore instances on Azure, but Azure resource templates are actually resource manager templates are actually the best way to actually be configurable. And you can actually also swap things out, or you can actually install it through the Azure portal. Put on a link here where you can have a huge explanation of all the topologies, and you can actually see images of the whole architecture of the several topologies. Like I mentioned before, it can be swapped out. So if you don't want to use Azure Search, then you can plug in Coveo. Coveo is actually hosted. Yesterday I heard it. They're actually hosting the Coveo cloud on Amazon. If you want to deploy in Azure, make sure you use the Azure Toolkit, which is just a lot of PowerShell commandlets. And Sitecore is also having a Sitecore Managed Cloud, which is completely serviced by Sitecore. So this is actually how it looks like. If you want to deploy a site on Sitecore, you can actually select a topology, and you can actually select a specific size. If you want to have a small installation, like just a CM machine. The great thing is that you now can actually, with this screenshot I only saw SXA to be installable. If you select 8.2, you can still install Web Forms for Marketers as well, immediately. So if you, it's just a wizard that you actually walk through. You say, okay, I want to have my thing set up in Western Europe. Make sure that you also go to the Sitecore page because there are certain tools that Sitecore uses, like Application Insights, which isn't possible to actually deploy in every location. You of course fill in the whole SQL Server credentials, and then you can just install it, accept the license, see which topology you actually use. You can see an overview of the possible cost, and within 30 minutes you can actually you're actually live and running a Sitecore instance in Azure Cloud. Then Zenith Horizon. This was actually at the end of the symposium. Was actually announced. Zenith Horizon. It will be the new interface in the future for Sitecore. Sitecore will really go into a way of getting more insights for the marketer on page performance. You can actually just drag and drop a certain interface. So this is how Sitecore will be looking like in the future. It's quite a change. And
actually, they said it's like 50% reality and 50% dreaming.
yeah, it's. I think the guy that actually presented this, he was a UX designer, and he thought it would be ready by somewhere next year. I kind of doubt that, but getting tools in like heat maps to see where people are actually looking at, and really based upon metrics. If you want to see that last presentation, go check it out. This video, it's only like 6 minutes long, but next year Sitecore Symposium 2018 is in Orlando. I actually managed to stay within my own 30 minutes. I was supposed to run a little bit longer, but yeah, that is basically all the new stuff that was announced, and that was my presentation. So.